I'll go ahead and start the recording. Good morning, everyone. Appreciate you being here. We're going to go on to some other additional fun trainings that we're going to discuss from Jared James and some of the slides and things that they had shared with us. I wanted to share the screen here. We'll go here. We'll share. And I wanted to share this one, present. I thought it was interesting that Jared James basically started out his trainings or his entire open with whatever that was, 2,000 people in the front. He says, you know, guys, we're all kind of like popcorn. And I went, okay, this is going to be interesting. And, you know, it's interesting that we're all little kernels. And then when there's applied heat, oh, there comes Christine. When you apply heat to a kernel of popcorn, what happens? What happens? I wonder, do anybody know that it explodes? I was just kind of curious about the origin of which person, you know, whoever made popcorn, was the Native Americans, whoever it was, that had popcorn first and took out the corn and said, let's dry this. And then all of a sudden, oh, it got a little hot and it popped. I mean, that would be so amazing to sit around a campfire and all of a sudden pop around a little popcorn. So, but it gets hot. So it does. So it explodes, as Jana shared. So the question then for us is that, when we put a little heat on, what happens to us? Are we going to explode? Are we going to be just a little kernel? And you know, and you know, pressure me, and I'm just not going to be a kernel here. Thank you, Madison, for finding these cute little graphics of our little guys. So it's kind of important to realize that you know, we go to a lot of different trainings. We go to a lot of different events. We listen to Jim, we listen to Jody, we listen to Jared James, we listen to these people. And sometimes we get a little bit overwhelmed to like, wow, there's just so much to do. And I always share with you guys that we're in a marathon, and I loved it. And I don't know if I shared this last time, maybe I did, but I loved it where he said that you can run faster by yourself, but you run longer with the group. You can last longer. And that group is like a good office, the culture in an office, people, it could be a family, could be a good support system. It could be your systems that you're using, because it's a longevity here. So just because maybe you have about 10, maybe, because I don't know what's average. You put in, if you guys want like a half a cup of popcorn, you know, you put in half a cup, that's a lot of kernels. So the question is which one are you going to go explode and which one are you going to go do first? Because there's so many ideas that I came out with that we've been implementing them, and boom, they're now implemented. And so my wife said, wow, you're already starting that one. Yep. Oh, you already started that one. Yep. So we're starting them, and they're actually, I'm seeing, you know, I've already gotten a couple leads from a couple of them, which has been kind of fun. So keep that in mind, that just because we put warmth, or just because you get motivated, you need to write down and pace yourself of which ones that you want to actually start. Now, there's some non-negotiables that we're going to discuss today again, which is not going to be anything new to what you guys have already heard and what you've already listened to by me for the last couple of years. There's things in here that just are non-negotiable that you just have to have, and that we're going to go through on somebody's slide. So a couple of things that I wanted to share with you that I came out, which we've already experimented with on the last couple weeks since I got back. I don't know if you guys have heard of box brownie, and I've got maybe I think we put Jared James conference or something like that for a little bit of a discount. It's for pictures. You guys have all know that taking professional photography is important. And let me just share, I think this might, courtesy of Madison, this might take us right here. So I wanted to experiment with this because my photographer takes a long time to actually give us pictures, because she wants to doctor them and do all their normal stuff that photography and they do. They just need to make sure they're nice and perfect. So I told her, I said, why don't you go ahead and send me your raw images, just straight out raw out of your camera with your wide angle lens. I'm going to send them into Box Brownie, and I'm going to see what they do to them. And if you can see, here's her raw images, and this is what they did with them. And so they actually took one yesterday with a fireplace, and actually, well, it was a gas fireplace, and they actually made pictures of flames in that gas fireplace for me. And so I wanted to share this with you. It's more of it's not anything where you have to spend a lot of money or sign up for anything. You can just put like $20 in there, and you can just use your $20 when your $20 is done, or your $10 or whatever it might be. And these are, what were they, $1.50 or $1.60, $1.50 or something a picture is what they were. So for like $27 on this one, they were able to go in and take these. So I'm now going to experiment and say, with my wide angle lens, I might just go in and take actually a photo, because you look at these aren't really sweet and special, but you can see what they're actually able to do with the lush cabinetry and stuff on there. So box brownie, if you're interested in it, let me know. I've got a Jared James like special that you can go in and actually do. Kasha Brown, who's a really good friend of mine, actually now is their lead salesperson with this company. And so I got to hang out with her and chat with her a little bit on that. So this is $22.40. What I want to share with you on this too, they can get a little bit more crazy with if you have a vacant house and you want to put like some digital furnishings and stuff in there, they get a little bit crazy. They're about maybe $20 or $30 a photo if you actually have them put furniture and actually do a little bit deeper stuff. But they do a twilight photo, and I think it was $4, maybe $4.50 for a twilight photo. So even if you just use them and wanted to do a twilight photo, because I don't have her presentation up right now, but it was some crazy 400% increase on people who click on the twilight photo. So if you just, and you don't want to, and you can't get your, because you'll get your photographer will actually go back out and do a twilight shoot, and it's usually $100 or $200 to do that. So having them come back out and just give them one picture and say, hey, make a twilight on here, that would be great. Because I think like this one here, they kind of got a little bit of color. So here was the regular raw ugly storm coming in, but then they made it with the sun coming over the top a little bit too. So that was kind of pretty. So anyway, that was one thing that I really, really enjoyed there. And then I wanted to go into the up screen. So I don't know, I know Sarah and I were playing with this the other day, and this was kind of funny and kind of fun. So Sarah, I got mine to work, but I couldn't really get it up, but kind of go to upscreen.com and you can make your own GIF. And so like, this is like a couple of things that I have with that. And there's another couple of them that I've got, like this little dude just jumping up. Like I said, hey, congratulations, your offer's accepted. Now, maybe that's a little bit cheesy but it was kind of fun. And they actually are all laughing at it. And I've used this and I've sent it to my mom a couple of times when she and a couple other people, and they're just busting up laughing at my craziness. So I thought that was kind of a fun thing that I learned. So that's, was it Unscreen? Yeah, unscreen.com. And actually what you're doing here is and you can save it to your phone, and you basically go in, upload your copy of your video, do a short little, like maybe a 10-second video, upload it into their system, and then you copy it and then go into and paste it into your phone. And then it will actually look like it's completely still and not doing anything. And then all of a sudden it started making, when I sent it to somebody, it actually was making movement. So, I've got them all just kind of saved in my phone right here. So if I want to like jump in and actually send one to something, that was kind of fun. All right. Videos. How many people are doing videos? Did I lose connection? Sarah, you've done some videos. And so let me go back with this. This was hilarious. I was listening to a comedian yesterday, and he actually said, I don't know how you way back when the creation of where they used to like cavemen and stuff, you see where they used to like draw like drawings of things in history of like their drawings on the walls in these caves. And then we got to the alphabet, and it was busting up because it actually is now revolved all the way back to it's come all the way back to pictures again. So we went from just pictures on a wall in a caveman to the alphabet to emojis, and then we shortened the alphabet to shorten the words on our texting back to pictures again. And so the videos and things are so critical. And I want to share this, that I was very impressed by what they shared, because a lot of times it's like, well, what do I post? What do I do on videos? And so the what next? And so one gentleman was teaching a class, and he says, guys, you really need to do what is next, of like, what's next in your transaction? How many times that we just kind of get so used to like, we're so professional. We just understand what the next thing is about our transaction, but sometimes we forget to tell the buyer or the seller what's next. Like there's oftentimes, guys, make sure you ask your sellers, is this the first time that you sold a home? You might have like a 60-year-old person and you well, of course they probably have already sold a home before. And then you come to realize halfway in the middle of the transaction, they go, oh, I didn't know that that's what was next. And so I just wanted to kind of share a couple things, and I'll share these videos that I did next. What's next? Can you guys see this video? Good, thumbs up. All right, I'm gonna play it and see what you guys think.
Hey, this is Eric. Just wanted to touch base with you. And now that the listing agreement is signed, thank you for signing that. We will be moving forward to getting the pictures on the property. We should be receiving those any day now. And when I get the full set of pictures, I will forward them over to you so you can actually look at them as well. We may not use all of them, but we do actually use majority of them. So if we take a picture of a messy garage or something where we put everything, no worries, we're not going to be putting that one on the MLS. So I'll be doing that. I'll also be sending you over a description, a property description that you can actually review and read, and then tweak if you want to tweak anything on that. And then we'll also be getting things ready for our, which we already did, sent out a new listing postcard that we actually have just released that one as.
All right, so it continues, it goes. It's not perfect, but at the same time, it's just telling them what's going to be happening next. Like, thank you so much. And then there's another video that we're going to shoot that I haven't shot yet that actually is going to be the next one. We'll be saying, well, that's great, guys. We're now on the market, and here's what's next. Because there's, when you guys that are brand new getting into real estate, I know the Cheryl Briggs and people who have been in for a long time, when you start getting into a buyer's market and your listing sits on the market for 3, 4, 5 months, and sometimes, or you go and retake a listing, and one of the biggest complaints was, I just never heard from my agent. My agent never called me. And so that is probably most likely in our history going to come back again, where it's going to take several months to sell a home. And so that was one. I did this one right here that I put together this a little bit more presentation. So if you guys want to be a little bit less like, hey, I don't want to be the main focus on the picture like that last one, you can just put yourself and hide it up here. But I put this together.
Hey, Eric Hatch here. Hope all is well. We're getting so close to closing the transaction. So I'm excited to eventually hand you some keys to the property. I just wanted to touch base with you. A couple of things that we want to chat about a little bit here, what the next final steps are. And during this week, basically, when you get this, the link down below is this presentation. Just make sure you check the box present up on top, which then will go into this presentation here for you. So what we're going to do is that if I haven't already, you're going to get a seller or buyer net sheet or their settlement statement that I'm going to go send over to you. So I'll be basically reviewing to make sure said deposits and things and credits that we may have discussed there that are from the seller coming back to you. So those will be all put together there. And then that will be at the very bottom of this page. There'll be actually a number. That number is one that will say, buyer needs to bring into close to be able to close the escrow. So that's the number that you want to take to the bank to either do a cashier's check or a wire. So just remember about the wire fraud and everything that we.
All right, so I go into wire fraud. I go
number
deep.
Okay, so depending on what time of day, because it needs to go back over to the lender via FedEx possibly to have them review everything, and then your money comes in right behind that or about the same time. So it generally takes 1 or 2 days after you sign to get the keys and record in different post box.
So then I basically came in and gave them links to all the NID Water, PG&E, and they're all live links. And I did this in a Google Doc. Or in Google Drive, and I shared the Google Drive link down below in that email. I made it smaller by using Bitly, so I used it and put some kind of verbiage of like about to close kind of thing. I did let's see what else I've got. I actually then started my cute little hey guys, this is don't forget we're looking for some reviews. So all of these live links right here are all set to be to a Yelp review of Eric Hatch, a Zillow, a Google, on that. And it's always important to go check out your links, because the other day I went to my Instagram link on some website or something, and it went to somebody in San Diego. So I went, oh, so it's always good to go check. So I kind of said, guys, here's a little head start. You're going to get another email. I had introduced a little bit about our VIP program. All right, is it going to go to that? Then I went into a little bit of a questionnaire that about, to help help me a little bit better. Actually, this is actually about the getting to know them a little bit better about what their favorite restaurant and stuff. There was another one in here about how we could do better and stuff questionnaire that I actually have them fill out there as well. So then I just, ended it. So, it was real important just to kind of share kind of what's going to happen next. And then it's easy to do via video. Yeah, some of us might just pick up a phone call and check with them and chat with them, but it's just nice that they can just, see something coming and what is next on that. All right. Any questions on that so far? Any other ideas on that you guys are using that are successful? No, you guys are all just super.
This is all great. This is all super
Okay,
thorough.
good. Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate it. I'm just good. Sometimes you sit there on these Zoom meetings, you go, I wonder if my link just like disappeared, and you guys are all so quiet. So thank you. All right, let me share this. Now, guys, here was a presentation that I really liked. It was one in the beginning too, but it just goes back to basics and just of this. And please take advantage of when Jim gives us our business plan and our new business plan for 2022, which I'm sure is going to be being discussed here shortly, that I'll probably be discussing that too and going a little bit in depth. We'll probably mail out something or email out something that you guys will be filling this out just like we did last year. I hope that every quarter, every month, if it's weekly, whatever it is, but about getting and tracking your numbers. So don't get to the end of the year and say, I wanted to close 20 transactions and I got 2. What did I do wrong in the year? It's in middle of November, December. That's not the time to be discussing that. You should be discussing that in January 1 and in March 1. So in our calendar, we actually have that. It pops up on our calendar. It says review numbers, review, our goals. Where are we at? Then it talks about marketing strategy. And now we've also got social media time that we're putting into a little bit about just scheduling social media and blocking that out. So having a business plan. Guys, I doubt that Amazon and Apple just decided, I don't know what Apple, when they started in their garage, but, did they have a business plan or were they just starting to sell one computer at a time? So there's got to be some kind of business plan. There's got to be some kind of set budget. So I know a lot of these ideas and things that we throw out here that might be X amount of dollars per month, but we need to have that. You've got your marketing plan. So please, and I've got a Jared, actually it's a Tom Ferry marketing plan, which goes through and it goes through like, it talks about, we've got like Halloween coming and stuff. And so we might be doing, different pumpkin giveaways or pie giveaways or something of that nature. But I can't all of a sudden right now think, oh, I wanted to do pumpkins to give pumpkins away. Oh, what should I do? Well, Halloween's just in a couple of days. So the marketing plan actually comes back and says, okay, in October, August, or September, get your pumpkin stuff ready. And then you've got in October, here comes your pie. So I already have my pie stickers being made. I already have my pie postcard that's already made that we're, or the social media post that we're going to send to our VIP list saying, guys, it's pie time, order your pie. And I, probably going to do our pies a little bit different this year and have people come to my office because it would just took 4 or 5 days of going and delivering pies, which is nice to go in and see and pop by and stuff, but it's just a lot of time. But so you have your marketing plan, like what type of social media posts, and if you just schedule them all up, you can have them already done. Because I've got my motivational Mondays that we scheduled about a month ago for like the whole entire month, and now we're going to be doing those again. Time blocking calendar, which I'm just sharing that with you a little bit because just now I feel like in my social media stuff that I just need to actually block out some time to set some time up and then set those and schedule those out. And I think we talked about that before, guys, about different, what's the one that we're using? Our social media calendar, L starts in L.
Oh, later.
Yeah, later. It's called Later. So we're using one called Later that you can set it all up and you can actually see your whole entire calendar and you can say, okay, this post goes out here. This is a tweet. This goes out on Instagram. This goes out on Facebook. So you can kind of get that set up that way. And we talked about, guys, nothing new. We talked about S Corps and LLCs. So those who are starting, that are just kind of your own personal person. So when you get a little bit bigger, and I think that they were talking about that we shared somewhere about $100,000. If you start getting into that gross, income, 80 to 100 is about when you could start looking at the S Corp and LLC. But that's something that you might want to start looking at. What does CRM stand for? I forgot.
Client retention management.
Perfect.
Is it?
Yes, that's good. So anyway, I just want to make sure that you have that because, and I don't know what system, everybody can give me a thumbs up in the chat over here if you guys got your CRM, because if you don't have that set up now, like those videos I shared with you, they're already in a preset email that I can just go into my CRM, click a button, find it, just clicks the video's already preset in there and send, preset in there, send. And so it's so nice that I don't have to go reshoot another video. I don't have to go find it in BombBomb or wherever I put it on Drive. It's already in there. It can just go boom. And this last little one down here, transaction coordinator. So I know most of us, I feel pretty confident that we're using a transaction coordinator. So I thought that was kind of fun. Oh, we got Connie coming in. So, nothing new there. Anything new that we haven't talked about? It's pretty simple. I hope that we've got all of those things moving forward. And I know we've got a lot of wording in this presentation, but talks about his business plan. What is your goal? What is your average commission? How many closings do you need? How many conversations you need to complete weekly, and how many appointments did you need? And I know, Cheryl, you're new in this, but I've got all these cute little numbers that are all over my office and stuff on boards of like my conversations that I need. This is how many escrows I need. Oops, wait, I got to change this back to, I closed to yesterday. All right, so how many escrows I need before the end of the year to hit my goal. So then I can calculate, I can see how many escrows I've got, how many more I need to get. So where are you at? So you need to have that number just all the time, there of how many people, because there's one other presentation. Again, I think I shared this with you. It's 100 people to get around 10 clients that you're going to need to be able to close, 2 to 4 of those. So have that purpose, have a purpose of your business plan and how many you need to know. And the Jared James, if you haven't used it last year, the Jared James one, when you put in your numbers on the spreadsheet, it tells you how many conversations you need to have on a daily and weekly basis and how many appointments that you need. And it goes both by buyers and sellers. So it tells you how many listing appointments that you're going to need to go on and how many buyers that you need to speak with. So really, really crucial on that. And then the budget. Again, guys, you get to a point, you always need to be on a budget. There's when I first started real estate, I remember just cranking some credit cards, but I didn't have the sustainable income to be able to keep paying those off on a regular basis. So now it's like, every month I'm just paying my credit card off, putting it on, paying off. Now I could go through my business account if I wanted to, but I just like the points. So I go through the points with airline points and hotel points and stuff. But how much can you spend in your business? And this actually, look at the budget down below is what he was basically stating. A good rule of thumb is that your budget of 30% for your business expenses. I'm going to move this over here. 40% for your personal and 10% for your personal expenses should go to savings. And 30% for taxes. So it depends on where your tax bracket is. But I would really encourage you guys to make sure that you are, they're saving some monies for your retirement. I don't know how many people or know very many people that probably are getting into retirement age that have ever told me that they saved enough. Right. So it's like, oh, I say, and there's another class that I had that percentages, I don't have them in front of me, but it was some crazy percentage of what people actually felt that they actually saved. And it was only in the 8 to 10% range where they felt that they actually saved enough on some big business, survey that they did. So it gets to the point where you need to be putting money away and you just need to find locations and places to put that. And it could be mutual funds, it could be anywhere. My son actually is working on an Acorn. I think it's called Acorns, where he puts a little extra monies. And what a smart college student, because anytime he goes, he's got like $15 that extra that's been put on there that goes into some mutual fund. But then he found the loophole. He said, if you refer 5 people, you get like $250. So he referred 5, $250 gets put in his account. And now he has about 5 more people to refer up at college and he gets $1,000 put in his account. So the guy's doing really good. So these are kind of, if you're desperate, you'll find ways to make money. So, so it is just make sure you're saving 10% of your, 10%, 20%, whatever you can into some kind of mutual fund. And I did it when I was really, really young. And we just put money that came straight out of my checking account. I didn't even know it would even disappear. It just automatic. Then all of a sudden, one day you wake up 4 or 5 years later and you got 10 and 20 and $30,000. You go, wow, that's so cool. And then I have that. And then you have some emergency fund that you need to have, like a little emergency fund in case the bubble breaks of some sort or health issue or something like that, that you have that. So budget that wisely on your budget there. Marketing plan, it talked about, what is your marketing source? How many marketing pieces are you sending out? How many leads did you generate? And what was the cost? How many appointments did you generate? Sorry, I can't see. What's the cost per appointment? How many deals did you close? Now, this is pretty time consuming. I mean, I don't know how many appointments that I generate and what the cost is on different things. When it really goes down to the depth of that, how many deals did you close and what? Now, I do know that one. That cost per deal, you know what the return on your investment is. So I hope that at the end of each year, you guys take what you guys did. And I really feel that you need to try something for at least 6 months. So I know, Christine, you're in here, you shared with the new program that you're using for some social media, which is great, but you need to try it for at least 6 months. I'm a big fan of finding the companies that are you give month-to-month kind of subscriptions, but you can't just send out one just listed or one expired campaign and then expect that to work, and to need to be consistent with that. So, but I do at the very end of the year, and I was talking to another source that I've been with for probably 10 years and just said, look, we've got one closed transaction with you this last year, and I spent X amount of dollars, and I'm going, okay, we're really pushing the threshold there. What's going on? I need some more love from you. And so it's not like anything that I've changed of like, oh, I'm a worse salesperson this year, or maybe I just messed everything up with those individuals. But you got to look at everything. So at the very bottom of my sales sheet, and I shared it with you guys before, that you need to break it down and say, how many leads did I get from the neighborhood next door? How many escrows did I get? Here's my social media. Here's my budget. Where am I at? And you've got to just break it down to wherever your lead sources are coming. So if you spend too much money, you can actually subtract and delete some of that stuff, or spend less money.
Eric, can everybody mute themselves, please? Because there's some background noise that's making it really hard to hear.
Yeah, there is a little noise, but yes, please mute everybody. Thank you. All right. Expense income tracking. This is and I've got the slide if you guys want it, because there's a lot of stuff in here. But it just kind of went through, and I know probably Tim is our most experienced. He loves spreadsheets, so he can probably totally break all this down for us. And Tim, you should probably break something down. You can sell it, and sell it for something. Where is that one? I don't know who. All right. Okay. All right. Then so this one, talking about block calendaring, which I really struggle with, and I'm really working on trying to make this a little bit better for us. And so in having Madison in here to actually say we're doing it today, you guys know that we put out a lot of fires during the day, but do you think that I could actually take this phone and set it down for an hour and not answer it? She's shaking her head. No, I just looked over there. No, she says, no, absolutely not. She said, but I need to be better. Now I like it. Now maybe there's some call and I can tell if it's a sales call, I can let it be. But I really need to sit down and say, okay, we're blocking out this 30 minutes. And I thought it was interesting that, guys, I've been always telling you and preaching that we need to prospect for an hour or 2 hours a day. And I loved it where my wife, her biggest key takeaway on the conference is that there was a lady that got up and said, is it really possible for you, Sarah, to sit there and take a whole entire hour without answering any phones, or have your daughter come up and start talking to you? It's difficult. So she actually was nice as Shanna came up, and this lady mentioned just book 15 minutes at a time. That's more realistic, where I can say, I can take 15 minutes right now. I'm not going to answer my phone for 15 minutes, and I'm going to prospect, and I'm going to go. And that's what I'm going to do. So she broke it down like that, which I thought was nice. But you can do fuel up. What's your morning routine? We already kind of talked about my crazy morning routine, which all of a sudden I found out that Madison's coming in at 7:30 this week. So I didn't know that until this week. And so now I go, she can't beat me into work. So now I'm at 7:25. So now my morning routine, my wife this morning goes, why are you up at 5:30? I said, oh, it's Madison's fault. So anyway, so it's kind of fun. So know your inventory, what's changing in your market, prioritize the creation of new business over managing business, prospect. This is 10 new conversations per day, follow up no less than 30 minutes per day. So it's kind of a breakdown plan for tomorrow. I love that. So if you leave that night and say, okay, I didn't get this done, you put it to the very top of your list. And so very list oriented and say, I'm going to get this done the very first thing in the morning on that. Now, your CRM system should be able to be putting tasks in for you and be able to see those tasks and be able to go in every morning and say, who do I need to contact today? And what is my priorities of what I need to do? All right. Again, the LLC thing, we kind of talked about that a little bit. I don't know, maybe I'll just see if there's anything in here you guys want to see. Legal separate entity, simple established, builds credit, business, there's not really much in there, but let's see if they give us kind of some numbers. Yeah, so and this just gives you some numbers. Example, you can owe 15,000 self-employed and you can actually only pay 76. So it cuts it in half. So there's some things in there that we can discuss. And I think we kind of discussed maybe having somebody come on and share a little bit about creating those for us. Then here's your CRM system. Helps you keep organized yourself and your business. Most CRMs integrate with any company. So that's what is nice. So when you choose a CRM system, I already have my systems like BombBomb and things that I use. So I want to make sure that my CRM actually connects and integrates with those. And then I think we've shared with you a little bit about having a texting feature in there, having a mass, email mass, having a mail campaigns that you can do to all your clients. And I know some of you who are new today, we actually have expressed the most important thing is taking your database and breaking those databases into smaller increments. Just this week, we broke our database into 2 more increments just this week because I felt I needed to get it. I need to laser target a little deeper to be able to do. And so now we've actually got the new feature, the text feature, and I can now go to those 22 people and I can send them a mass text, go boom. Aren't you guys thinking about selling lately? What's going on with the market? Boom. And so there's just so much more that you can actually do. And so we're about to blast that out, which is going to be kind of fun. Keep track of your daily tasks, such as birthdays and anniversaries. We talked heavily about that a little bit last week, about the importance of that. Making sure if you see a birthday on Facebook, that you acknowledge them, and then you go immediately into your CRM and you stick something in there. So the next following year, you can maybe do something different than just saying happy birthday on Facebook. Add key notes to customers. Your CRM system should allow you to put a pin on the top. So that same note, I always put on the very top of if I'm talking to a client, I'll put in all their information of what they're looking for. And I pin that to the very top because after 2, 3, 4 months, that message would get deep, and I won't remember who they are. My CRM system actually records the conversation so I can call out of it. So it keeps it and holds it so that I can actually go in and listen to it and go, oh, that's who that was. Oh, that's what they asked me because I forgot what they asked me about. So I can go back and listen to it. Add keynotes, create drip campaigns, automatic text and emails. How many people got my marketing update? Just for curiosity, did anybody get my October marketing update? We got 1 raise a hand and some no cameras. All right. So I will tell you that I went to a listing presentation yesterday on that marketing update. And I know we had 6 months ago went to listing presentation, and they said, hey, we're wanting to have you back. I think we're getting close. I said, great. I went there yesterday, and he immediately just said that marketing update was amazing. So I just went, okay, I'm chalking that up in my numbers that marketing update is the reason why that this gentleman said, I want to call Eric back again, and I want to have that conversation. I had an agent who's pretty old, probably old in age and also old. And he works for a company, Bill Johnson. Shout out to Bill. If you guys haven't met Mr. Bill, he's totally awesome. I don't know how old he is now, maybe like 90, but totally cool. He just came up to me, he knelt down because I was doing the slide presentation for the thing. He knelt down next to me and says, Eric, I just want you to know that market update was the coolest thing I ever seen in my whole entire real estate career. I'm going, wow, it's like 90 years of real estate. So that was pretty cool. So it was kind of fun to be able to do. So these small little things that you do, yes, they take time to create, but now they go a long ways. Because yesterday, my video was at 191 views on YouTube. And then we went and looked at the video. A commercial now is in front of my video. So I don't know what that means. Do I get some income stream? I'm not sure. So you can communicate via text, emails, manage teams with CRM. So yes, there are some features that when you guys get bigger, there was 2 full classes on managing a team and having a team and building a team. So if you're interested in that, I'm probably not going to teach that, but if you're interested in that, I can certainly send you the PowerPoint presentation that you guys can kind of review and look at too. Actually, there's a video class as well. You might have to be in here and watch that because it's connected to my passcode on my app. But some CRMs offer lead upgrade features to capture missing information. I did sign up when I was there at the conference for another company to be able to get more lead capture and phone numbers and stuff. So we'll see how that goes as well. All right, so your CRM.
Eric, I have a question.
Yes, please.
Did you send how did you push your market update? So I saw it on Facebook, you put it on YouTube. What else did you do?
So I did a blast market to my 8,000 people in my CRM. So I was able to go in and do that. We were having a little
Via text or email?
I did an email. I was having a little trouble on that through that blast email system. So I ended up having to go into YouTube and have it. I kind of like I wouldn't, if I went into if you saw on FaceTime or Facebook, you saw that should have been downloaded right into Facebook, because Facebook doesn't like to take you to a different, algorithm or take you to YouTube. So that was downloaded straight into Facebook. And then the YouTube one, I had to go through my mass email. I had to put the link to go to YouTube to be able to watch it through YouTube, which was nice because then that gives me a bunch more, views, and hopefully the algorithm on YouTube jumps up. And that's why your YouTube, there's a whole new class on YouTube, guys, that I don't know if I even taught about dividing your videos into segments to be able to actually put them into a different way, an easier way to kind of view, and getting your thumbnails all kind of pretty and beautiful and stuff of that nature. So but yes, that's what I did. And I think I went to those three things. Yeah, just those 3. So just went to 2 social media things. Now you can actually, what you should be able to do is I love the social media queens out there that are awesome, that they'll actually now tell me to take a little segment of that video, go back into YouTube, shrink that little video, or go to the original content, put a little bit of a small little, like a 10-second blur, blah, 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 and then maybe go tweet that, or now go put that somewhere else on Instagram, down the road, now again, it's an October update. So you got to do kind of quick, on certain things. I did a video this week that was 7 things that you need to do to prep your house, for sale. And so that video now is I'll probably use that one and do like number 1. If you want to listen to more, go over here. And I did, Sarah, I did put that on my blog too. So now what I did is if those people, I can push that out and actually go into my blog, then that actually, the algorithm of my blog will start kind of going up too, if somebody kind of comes that direction as well. So good question. Okay. So please, you guys, the CRM, you have to have something. You guys will go completely bananas and crazy if you don't have a place where your people are going. And I would really encourage you, though, when you have a lot of people in there, because it irritates me when all of a sudden I go, wow, I didn't even spoke to these people for like years. Every time you go and touch somebody inside your CRM system, you have to put a task in there again for some type of something in the future, whether it's 3 months. So like the other day I called somebody, goes, hey, I just wanted to check in with you. How are things going? It's been a long time. We're going to be starting our customer appreciation parties, coming back up. And then I went in there and put a task, call in 3 months, email in 2 months, some kind of task in there, because if you don't, your life is just going to get busy. And all of a sudden you're going to go, wow, they put a sign up with somebody else. And it's like, well, whose fault is that? It's mine, because I never reached back out to them and talked to them. So have some kind of something. And there was another class that I was reviewing that had all sorts of things. It was crazy. They wanted like 17 emails during the year and, 4 verbal conversations. And so we're going to have that class coming up probably next week that kind of broke down on a little bit deeper in numbers on that. All right. Was that the last one, or is there more? TC, how can you live without a Vicky? How can you live with whoever you guys, a Heather, whoever your guys' TCs are? But you just need to have a TC to be able to breathe, and then eventually you guys are going to need to get to have some kind of let's see, stop sharing. Anybody want me to share anything else on that before I stop sharing? You guys good? Eventually you guys are going to need to get an assistant, so somebody that comes in and is, here you can see, look, smile. Somebody who comes in who's like really, really, really happy and so gives it, and it's funny because the things like when she's out of town or wherever she's at, if she doesn't come in, it's like, oh, I guess I get to sleep in today. And so she actually drives me to be able to get in here to make sure that I get in here so we can work together more closely. And then when you get Shannon back here, boy, I got two women telling me what to do all day long. It's a little crazy. So, but it's kind of
Eric,
fun.
I have a question about assistance. So, I think that right now, as things are starting, I can see the things that need to be delegated, but it feels a little bit overwhelming to try to bring somebody on to explain like lots of little different things. So what would you say in your experience are like maybe the one or two tasks if you were to start with an assistant to just like, get that off of your plate? What are like the one, maybe top three tasks that are helpful to outsource?
All right, so this is what I've been taught, and I got Tammy and Christine here, which is gonna be great because I know they're gonna come in and talk to me and bring share their wealth of information here. So they're basically what I've been taught is that anything that you can delegate, you need to delegate, and you just need to. My very first assistant was Marilyn Marshall, which I think Tammy knows who she is, but I did it part-time. It's this huge leap of faith where you just go, what am I going to do? And how am I going to teach somebody else the exact same thing that how I would want to do it? But when you actually are doing like mailing out postcards, so some of them are digital now, some of them are easy to do. You might go that direction, but doing postcards or doing this, they still mess up. My wife still sent some postcards the other day without my license number on, so I'm going to jail. So when there's still things that go, oops, and we kind of laughed. But there's still things. So I would say my task is that you just take a piece of paper and start actually writing the things down that you would say, I think I can delegate these items. And and then you'll be busy in your day and you have your notebook, like I've been, have my notebook, and I've got on the back, what I've got, here are the calls in the very front that if I ever get their calls by these people, I don't take that phone call again because I don't want that sales call and go through that hour again because it was a year ago. But I also have other things of business development that I want to work on. And I've got one that actually says my videos that I would like if I'm driving, go, I need to do a video on that. I jot it down really quick. So when you're going through life, you go, I think I could delegate that, put that on the delegation list. And so then it gets to the point where you're like, well, how do I pay them? Is it in outside services, kind of like, is it commission only? So it gets a little bit interesting on that. And so for me, with having, the Select family, is that I allow Select to take care of everything. So even though Madison is like sitting here, was kind of my assistant, she's really the employee of Select. Okay, so that's kind of, so they handle all of the taxes and all of that withholds and all that type of stuff. And then I just get on my checks for my statement of like a commission comes in, it just says agent expenses. And then she's on it is kind of what it is. So, but just take that list and then you can start delegating a little bit. Now there's lots of things like fiverr.com and some different people out there that you can go hire. So that way you don't have to worry about all the taxes and the ramifications of that. Sometimes I've actually just kind of said, okay, here it is. I just put outside services. I put that, as long as I don't get some crazy 20, 30, 40, $50,000, I just put outside services. I haven't got audited yet to see kind of what that is. And I just would do a 1099. Is that what I give? Yeah. 1099 kind of thing to somebody and say, here you go. Anything. I think it's over $600 that you spend or that you do. So I've got my son now on my CRM system. It actually shows down there on the checklist. It says Braden to do. So now I can go in there and he's at college and I can watch and I go, oh, he's not, his checklists aren't being done. So I can kind of see what he's doing. So that is kind of like, I'm still, even Madison's been here for 2-3 months. Has it been that long? And not even 2. And so I'm still panicking at what I'm giving her. So it's good. So, but it's good. So Christine or Tammy, Tammy, I think when she brought Christine on as a buying agent, there's a lot to let go. Anything you guys want to say and come on to camera and take a moment of fame?
Hello.
Hello, Tammy.
Yeah, I worked out this morning, so I'm not going to come on camera.
Yeah.
I'm trying the morning routine because I'm not being able to do it at
Good.
night. It's been awful because we've been busy at work. So it's hard to fit
Definitely.
everything in. So let's have a class on that. Poof.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah, it is kind of hard, and that's my problem. And Christine knows it's my problem, and my voice doesn't come across with very much patience at times. So it's hard. But Christine knew me, so she knew it wasn't anything personal when I would talk in an impatient voice. But And I think that would have helped me a lot if I just would have jotted down like, oh, this is something that, I need to train Christine on or whatever.
Mm. You broke up a little bit, but I think we got the gist of that. So, that's important. It's like, you always hear I love, if you guys haven't seen that Ray Kroc movie on McDonald's with Alan Keaton, I think's his name, or Alice. It's an amazing movie, just how McDonald's it's actually kind of sad in a sense how they got kind of anyway. But there was interesting on that is that when you get hired at McDonald's, I hear you go to the fry machine and you stay at the fry machine, and that's all you do until you get that and you perfect that. And so I would take a list, and if you meet somebody, and that's when Shannon, my sweet wife, told me, Madison's going to walk out of here on day one if you just overload and just boom, too much. So I say, I'm going to show you this one thing. And I got a little carried away because I think I showed her at least 6 or 7 the first day, right? No, she's looking at more. All right, maybe I gave her more. So Shannon goes, how did it go? And I go, she didn't walk out on me, but it looked really close. So when you just got to start with one thing, teach them one thing, let them do. And then what the fun thing is that when all of a sudden, when Christine came on board with Tammy and with Madison, is that all of a sudden they actually came up with something kind of fun and something kind of new. You can look at that presentation that I showed in the video there. That was all that nice little HTML presentation and all that. Do you know who did that? That was 2 assistants ago. Now I finally just perfected it by taking it and putting it into a different format that I'm now going to be using it, because they come up with some fancy new stuff that they can actually put together for us. And so, which is really nice. So yes, it's challenging, but you just have to kind of give up and just, and sometimes it's crash and burn. Sometimes you get a client and go, no, what are you sending me? And go, oops, I guess I didn't teach that person. And you just got to like back up and recover, but it's all good.
But the benefit of having an assistant, Eric, is that it does bring another perspective in, because people are so different. Even when I had my shop, I remember I had to buy products that I didn't like because there were people that were different, right? So for resale. So same thing with Christine. Christine puts a different perspective on it, and that's very valuable. So I think that's the biggest benefit, actually.
I agree. And I think that's nice that Jared shares this often, is that, guys, there's only so much time of the day. And so there's to compare his time of the day when he's got, 200 and something employees of what he can get accomplished versus one person with no assistant. There's only so much time of the day. So for me, it's a no-brainer. If I pay X amount of dollars for somebody to come sit here, I've had 2 assistants. Now Shannon now is, coming on board and doing some work, but I've had 2. And so, you look at a big structure of a team, you can set it up on commission, but you can set up on wages. And it's a little nerve-wracking knowing that her livelihood and all her cats that she has actually are, my responsibility. So her 3 cats are now my 3 cats, but you got ordered one yesterday. So it's kind of like that. So I feel kind of like, wow, there's a lot of responsibility on that. So, but as you go into it, and I don't know if Christine wants to answer anything, we could unrecord it here, Christine, if you want to be off record, or you can just come tell me later of Tammy's faults. But yes, I love getting Tammy's texts. They're always fun.
Tammy has no faults. She's wonderful.
Yeah, oh, look, see, what a nice thing to say to your boss. Yeah, so it's fun, guys. It's working as a team. We're not always going to be so blessed to have a team like Mimi's team that works for whatever she's got, 27, whatever, 30 years of the team together. And that was kind of hard because I think, Sarah, one of my hardest things was to let go. And then the other hard thing is when they actually went on their own and became an agent. And I was just like crushed because, and I know Tammy was here with one of my favorite assistants left. And I was like crushed because I was like, wow, and now that she's doing a fantastic job and one of the dominant agents in the area. But at the same time, I was a little bit crushed. So now you just have to realize that they're going to come and they're going to go. And, they're going to come and they're going to go, and you're going to help them the best you can during their life. And hopefully they stay a little bit longer. And so Shannon kept telling me, why do you keep telling Madison that, when you get your license, stop telling her that. Don't encourage her to get her license, because then they just leave you. So, which is true, but she won't. Right. Good. Got to buy in. Everybody heard that. It's still recording. All right. Any other questions or any other things on this? No, good. And you guys feel free to let me know if there's anything you guys want to learn, or like Tim's come out and a couple of times said, hey, I want to do this. Let's learn this. Cheryl, did you have something?
Yeah, I have something. I'm sorry, but got a little distracted and got in late. And you mentioned on Box Brownie, you have discount codes or something to that effect?
Yes, I will, there is, I will send that to you. I think it's just, Jared James Advance, I think is what it is. I think go to Box Brownie / Jared James Advance. And Jared spells his name JaredJames. Jared James Advance, Box Brownie / Jared James Advance. And you know, it ADVANCE. If that doesn't work, then let me know. But yeah, you know, she's fantastic. And so I thought it was just really nice. You guys could just put $1.60 and you want to go get a picture done, or you got something that and I'm going to experiment. I'm going to go take my pictures. I'm going to go check it out and see if that even works. And so now Shelby, my photographer, who's my niece, is getting so busy now. She goes, I don't know if I can shoot for you anymore. And so now this is why I'm doing that. So I'm just saying, let's take it raw, send it to me, so you don't have to spend 2 hours on my photos, and then I can, you know, send them that direction. But good question. Thanks, Cheryl. All right. Okay, guys. Well, thank you. So go enjoy your week. I want you guys to go. Can everybody like record one video for what's next video, and then you guys can send it to me, and I'll you know, I'll compare it, and I'll just, you know, we'll just look at it together, and I'll say, yeah, yes, no, that looks great, perfect. Just do one video. Just send me one video that you guys can have. You can save it in your phone. There's a whole kind of fun thing, and I don't remember this class. Maybe somebody could remind me. But if I go like this, and I just, there's my, I'm a Texas girl. And if I put Lake of the Pines, and then boom, it pops up right there. Now there's a video right there that popped up. I don't know how I remember how I got these links to work, but now if I send this, it's my 5 reasons why I love Lake of the Pines is right tied into YouTube. So you just, and you can just find those really quick, and you can send them through texting. So we'll have to find that class and remember how to do that, because it's kind of nice when somebody calls. So if you have somebody Grass Valley, like Wildwood, boom, your video's in there. So do some kind of video for me and then share it with me, and then we'll see how we can push it out to the public. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, you guys, for joining us this morning, this beautiful, gorgeous Friday. And you guys be very successful and go sell something.
Thank you.
All
Can
right,
I,
I have my
Thank
first
you.
listing goes live